It's been probably the most effective administration, maybe less than the first Trump administration, but certainly among the most effective administrations in my lifetime. But that has not stopped some people who claim to be amongst you from turning on him.
The shit is gross, right? Like, people on average don't want to see people who accept $50,000 in money bag bribes try and pretend as if they care about law and order, while simultaneously sending in, like, you know, paramilitary goons into their backyards to harass people who aren't white. Asmongold, big fan of Asmongold now, and Asmongold's responding. They're besties.
Asmongold, who has not held...
Asmongold. My apologies. I forgot how to pronounce it. Asmongold.
Asmongold, who has not held himself out as any type of conservative bro or anything like that. He posted something pretty damn sensible last night. He wrote, aside from the Epstein stuff, Trump is doing exactly what he said he would do. Maybe there's too many crying Karens on social media, so they're afraid of the optics, but this seems so dishonest. It won't work either. The bridge is burned, and those people will always hate them. Yeah, I think that's pretty well said. Asmongold, who has not held himself out as any type of conservative bro or anything like that. He posted something pretty damn sensible last night. He wrote, aside from the Epstein stuff, Trump is doing exactly what he said he would do.
Aside from the child trafficking and rape. Aside from that, yeah. It's one hell of an aside, gotta be honest. Very fucked up way to start any sentence. Aside from child rape, I believe Trump is doing exactly what he said he was going to do.
Maybe there's too many crying Karens on social media, so they're afraid of the optics, but this seems so dishonest. It won't work either. The bridge is burned, and those people will always hate them. Yeah, I think that's pretty well said. Asmongold, who has not...
Asmongold. Well, Asmongold responded, "Thank you. Another component to this is Theo is very obviously afraid of being the next target for political violence after Charlie Kirk. That's the main reason he crashed out over the DHS using his clip in one of their videos, not because of politics," which was weird because in Theo Von's own words, it actually was entirely because of the politics. He said that his takes on immigration are a lot more nuanced than, you know, the DHS using a clip of him, which he said was out of context, and that his father was from Nicaragua and he didn't feel comfortable with the DHS using him for their propaganda. I mean, it seems like odd things to say. He could just come forward and say, you know, delete this because I'm worried that it'll put a target on my back. I mean, I'd assume if he'd done something like that, that would probably play better with a large portion of his base. So I think he was quite clear in what he was saying, but apparently not for Asmongold. He wanted to, you know, put his own personal take on that. So Crowder is feeling a little lonely these days because apparently all of the so-called comedian podcast bros who he thought he used to be bros with, even though he wasn't really invited on the shows, and some of them are actual comedians who do tours and have Netflix specials, and he's just one who's you know, failed at most things, including staying married. So he's now kind of upset that all of them are having buyer's remorse on Trump.
We need to be adversarial, and no, I don't know what he's doing. This isn't cool with me. I don't understand it. You comment below. Are you surprised, or do you feel like you've been gypped by this administration? Again, none is perfect. It's been probably the most effective administration, maybe less than the first Trump administration, but certainly among the most effective administrations in my lifetime. But that has not stopped some people who claim to be amongst you from turning on him.
The Trump administration, if they're running and they said, we're going to go to Home Depot and we're going to arrest all the people at Home Depot, we're going to go to construction sites and we're going to just like tackle people at constructions, I don't think anybody would have signed up for that.
Now that I look back at it, it's like, damn, like so many people just tie me to it. And now it's just like, like no matter what, they don't even get to know who I am. Because they don't like even want to. Oh, he did this shit with Trump.
You see what your boy's doing?
I mean, okay, what this is indicative of is that Twitter is not representative of the totality of the world, the rest of the world. It's gotten really good at amplifying the worst fucking people on the planet. Nazis. It's become a Nazi amplification machine. And because of that, a lot of them always feel they're right. And the scary thing about that is that other politicians in other countries, like in Canada, also feel sometimes that it's representative of the general population. Why else would there be a standing ovation in Parliament for Charlie Kirk in Canada? For a white supremacist podcaster from another country, why would they stand up and do that? Because they're all so afraid. Everyone's really scared. I mean, it really seems like if you don't say the right things, if you don't sanctify that man, then you get fired from your job. You'll have the online mobs come after you. They'll cancel you. I mean, cancel culture is real now, and it's weaponized by the right, and it's very scary. Boy, they use it. But in terms of like the general people, and especially when it comes to Americans, it seems most people are disgusted by having their cities invaded by paramilitary forces. It's not fun. It doesn't look awesome. In fact, it looks really scary. And also just watching crying mothers as children are being ripped out of their arms, or pregnant women are being tackled to the ground, or priests are being sprayed in the face with mace. That kind of stuff makes the average person be like, what the fuck is going on? And so those people are not, in the large part, even if they are fans of Andrew Schultz or Theo Vaughn or Joe Rogan, they're not being like, this is cool. Yeah. You know, the guy who was like, you know, a really good chef at a restaurant I liked just got arrested for no reason, and he's in an internment camp now, and we don't know where he's at. My barber just got sent to El Salvador. That's really cool. I voted for this. We're having a good time. I feel great. The cost of everything's still going up, though. That's weird. Everything's getting more and more expensive, despite the fact that the thing that they pointed towards being the problem, the cause of everything, that's not fixing it. So he's like, hey, when we get rid of the immigrants, everything will be great. When we put trans people into the scariest possible scenarios, take away their rights, take away their ability to actually be in regular parts of society, everything will get better. And it's like, but it's not. The US dollar is plummeting. Right now, most of the rest of the world hates us. A lot of countries are basically trying to look for alternatives in terms of trade. The cost of everything is rising. The cost of all foods and commodities are going up exponentially. How are we winning? And so because of that, a lot of the podcast bros are basically being like, I didn't vote for this, man. I didn't support him. I kind of did, but not in the way you think. I didn't think he was going to do this. You know, I mean, when he was quoting Hitler and saying that he wanted to poison the blood of the nation, all that shit, I thought he was just joking. You know, I thought he was going to do a little bit of stuff, but like not this. Things went too far. And it's just like, okay, what a surprise. What a surprise that every single one of you is actually either, like, what are we supposed to believe here? Are we supposed to believe, and they're both bad scenarios, that all of you are just too stupid to have done a simple Google search on any of the things that he proposed? He had a goddamn motherfucking blueprint for this all. He lined it all out. Here's the horrifying things I'm going to do. And look, he's enacting them all. Project 2025. I'm doing all the horrifying things I said I was going to do. Yeah. And all of a sudden it's like, well, I don't know. I didn't think he'd do all of them. All of them? Yeah, this is pretty fucked up. And it does kind of seem like speech is finally getting threatened. The freedom of speech, the ability to say things, to make jokes, to be able to speak out against people in positions of power, that is under threat now. Yeah, this doesn't actually, it's not as cool as you thought it was going to be. So here you go.
You voted for this. I'm like, I voted for none of this. He's doing the exact opposite of everything I voted for.
Wrong.
One of the things is
I voted for
like
all
it
of
was
it.
supposed to be America first. Like we're focusing on like, what are we doing to get things back into America, right? To like increase like the purpose of being an American, to refill like our hearts with blood and like
Come again?
and make us feel something again here and make us be excited about being an American.
They said we're going to get rid of the criminals and the gang members first.
By the way, it is kind of funny that Steven Crowder is going after all of them because he's never been invited back onto any of the shows. Like he did Rogan a couple times way back in the day, and Rogan ended up hating him. And you'll never guess why. Because Crowder went after weed. And Rogan went so fucking dude bro on him. It's like, it's got to be one of the funniest Joe Rogan segments. Because you can just see immediately Joe Rogan went into this kind of like, you think you're a tough guy? I know you're a fucking pussy. You know how I know that? Because I'm a tough guy. Because I fight. And so I can tell one when I see one. So what you gonna do? Oh, you getting emotional? You gonna cry? You gonna cry? You gonna try and take my weed away from me? Let's fucking fight, bro. Right now. Yeah. We'll see if you tap out. That's like, he just went so hardcore. Like you could just see like, this is how Rogan's brain works. Like if you try to take away the one thing he loves more than anything, which happened to be weed, he went so hard on Steven Crowder to the point where like Crowder's getting flustered because he doesn't know how to deal with that. It's like, oh, yeah, I can tell that you're getting emotional about this. He's like, your voice is getting kind of high pitched, bro. What's wrong? Oh, you gonna cry? You know, just like that. I was like, oh, Rogan's like, he's a fucking bully. He's just a fucking big ass bully. That's the kind of guy he is. And Crowder's a baby. It's a bully and a baby. And look at that. Neither of them was prepared for this. And so, yeah, Crowder not invited back on the show. Doesn't do these people's circuits. So he doesn't have to worry at all about, like, you know, getting fucking called out.
Right. And now we're seeing like Home Depots get raided. Like that's crazy.
And I really, really understand
Criminals don't go there.
Other people's side. And as I'm getting older, I'm just like seeing like, I just don't think I'll ever care enough.
As a certified tough guy, non-union carpenter, it never goes like that. You just speak off until the other guy fucks off. Yeah, as a certified non-tough guy, but a smart guy with street smarts, okay? I've seen some shit, all right? I've been around a long time. You can definitely tell and know when, yes, there's absolutely no reason for you to engage this person whatsoever. It will not end well for you. Yes, this is a much larger male walking the streets looking for fights right now. Yes, I'm not going to challenge his masculinity in the middle of this conversation.
Again.
I want him to shrink spending, reduce the budget. He's increasing it. It's like everything that he said he's going to do, except sending immigrants back. And now he's even flip-flopped on that, which I kind of like.
And I felt like that was what a lot of the energy was for. And then now that we're caught up here and it feels...
The other wild thing about all this is just like... Everyone here sucks. Crowder sucks and all you podcast bros suck. And obviously, I guess the podcast bros and the so-called comedians, they're all going to, you know, change over time because, you know, they're reading the room. They're reading the room way more than Crowder. Crowder is basically just like, I want fascism. What are we doing? I thought you guys were all on board. I thought this whole thing was about fascism. And they're like, no, we wanted to laugh at the Democrats and get some lib tears, but like not watch people get arrested and thrown into like prison camps. Not that one. Like we didn't want actual Hitler, okay? We just wanted some liberal tears, and we thought that all the people saying that he was going to go full Hitler were kind of just being hyperbolic and they were exaggerating, and now that it does seem like they were actually telling the truth, now things are a little scary, so I don't know, I'm getting a little bit worried, so I don't know how I feel about this anymore, but I was never totally on board with that project.
Feels like we are just working for Israel. I think to a lot of people, it's, I don't know, you just really start to feel very disillusioned pretty quickly.
Just really quickly, too, that note on Israel, I don't think we've ever seen a president be more, quote unquote, disrespectful to Netanyahu than Donald Trump.
Yeah.
What? He pulled out his chair for him. Like, oh my God. I have not seen Donald Trump grovel for anyone. But when it came to Benjamin Netanyahu, it was like, oh, excuse me, sir. Please, let me help you. Oh, no, you shouldn't have to lift this out yourself. Oh, yes, sit down. Is it comfortable? Oh, yes, no, only the finest of linens for you. Yes, you'll be sitting on the most comfortable coiffure here. Yeah, no, Trump's giving the guy everything he wants. I know publicly it feels cool every now and then when you get Trump giving a press conference where he'll say something like, that guy fucked up. He's really fucking it up. I don't know what he's doing. And then it just goes back to it. But I mean, as long as he's just continuously doing the flow of arms, which he has been, billions of dollars of aid, billions of dollars of weapons, billions of dollars of weapons sold, all that kind of stuff, Trump has just been giving him carte blanche. And then they've been working together, clearly, in order to do all these press conferences, which they often do in tandem, by the way. It's usually Trump standing right beside Benjamin Netanyahu or making their announcements, and they'll together say something which is going to be something they both agree upon, right? Like, if you want to put forward, well, I mean, Trump has said that, he doesn't want the Palestinians to suffer, and he said that they deserve to go somewhere, anywhere. I was like, yeah, this is what Benjamin Netanyahu wants. He wants the Palestinians to be gone so he can have all the land. It's what colonization is. It's what he's doing.
Ever. He's insulted him. He's literally insulted him for being petulant, for being kind of bitchy, for being negative. You may not like that Donald Trump supports Israel in the conflict, as it relates to Israel, Hamas. You may not like that, but as far as actually dealing with Netanyahu and saying, hey, we have to get a peace deal done, Barack Obama, Joe Biden were more respectful of the Israeli government than Donald Trump. He's spoken with them just as frankly as he does with Democrats here.
Man, it's really a sign of the times that, everyone hates Israel so much that even people on the right, like Steven Crowder, have to be like, I mean, you know, Trump's kind of hard on him. Yeah, a little worse. It still doesn't matter if it's Joe Biden or Donald Trump. They allow Israel to commit an unbelievable amount of atrocities and then continue to fund and support it.
So this also, comes on the heels of yesterday. A Rolling Stone article highlighted this. They call it a phenomenon where they titled it "Manosphere influencers who boosted Trump are now cooling on him."
Oh boy.
Okay, all right. Sunday, NBC News wrote, "Pod man out. Trump's support among influential podcasters is waning."
Bro, deadass.
and yeah, you just
Whoa, that killed.
saw that even, a lot of people have, everyone has a podcast now. That's the issue. Even Darth Vader turned on Trump, as seen in his podcast, Call Me Your Father, yesterday.
I find President Trump's actions disturbing.
Look, and I will tell you this.
Too many podcasts.
Yeah, there's too
Wait, did everyone forget to laugh? Jesus Christ, this show. I just, who is still watching this? Is it just because, Alex Jones is more funny than this? Alex Jones, he doesn't even need to be fucking making jokes and using AI. He can be funnier. He can just sit there, and half the shit that comes out of his mouth is so batshit that it's actually unintentionally hilarious. Have some self-respect. If you're yeah, it sucks because there's not a lot of comedy on the right. Okay, it's this or it's Greg Gutfeld. Well, then fucking at least have the decency to be you watch Alex Jones, someone who at least is just they're putting chemicals in the water, they're making the frogs gay. We got the plasticine. We're selling you the chicken skin paleo cream and all that kind of stuff. At least then I'm okay, yeah. I mean, whatever the fuck this is.
How many podcasts? I've been here before there was sort of this resurgence of right wing with young men, and I'll be here after. Popularity, it comes in waves, right? It'll wane. That doesn't change the principles and doesn't change your vision for.
It's like marriage. Sometimes it's there, then it goes away.
Our country. And that's what I find disturbing about this.
Yeah, but look, you should not really be surprised about this. These people don't really have much of a spine, and we've kind of seen this coming for a little while.
Oh my god, that was the setup. I guess these streams are so short. He only does an hour a day because they're making so much money, and obviously he pretty much hates himself so much that he doesn't want to have to do this anymore. That it's just basically everything seems to be pre-planned. It's all right, so you talk for 5 minutes, you talk some shit about them, we'll get it out. Then we can play the Darth Vader sketch we have, the AI Darth Vader one. That one will crush. Really, really funny stuff. Then we can play the old clips of you because you like looking at yourself. So that'll happen, and then we can wrap it up. And yeah, we'll only have to fill about 20 more minutes after that.
Oh, you well enough, the person watching or listening right now, that you're not going to be led astray by someone who's popular in the moment and agrees with you and then disagrees with you. You're not going to let them veer you off course. And not everyone feels this way, by the way. Osmond Gold, who has not held himself out as any...
Oh, that's where the clip comes from. Osmond Gold. Yes. I'm glad that they're at least identifying each other as far-right reactionaries. For people who don't know, Osmond Gold is the biggest political streamer on Twitch, even if he still continues to not define himself as that and refuses to define himself as MAGA and, likes to position himself as some kind of bizarre libertarian gamer. I'm still just a gamer, World of Warcraft, streamer / occasionally wade into politics. No, he's one of the most consistent hateful bigots who's constantly, dehumanizing trans people, dehumanizing gay people, dehumanizing black people, dehumanizing immigrants, dehumanizing every category he can come across. And then effectively he might get some pushback every now and then, but then just turns that into more content. Then just instantly it's oh wow, I can't believe I was canceled again for what I consider to be a reasonable take. He's actually, Asmongold is going to do, has moved on to being a Tim Pool now. He's doing something that is just so blatantly ridiculous one day, and then the next day pretending it was all part of a social experiment when the pushback is actually kind of great. The other day he was I think the majority of the population shouldn't be allowed to vote. They vote incorrectly, so I think 85% of the population should lose their voting rights. And if that happens, even though they won't be able to have any form of democracy, that's totally cool because they'll get the actual results that will help them. And so at the end of the day, it's better to have authoritarianism and tyranny and all that kind of stuff because it helps everybody out. And then everyone on the internet is aghast, and the next day he's oh, everyone fell for my social experiment. I was actually just saying that in order to see how people would react to it, and they fell right for my trap. Another clever ploy. It was so sneaky, so interesting, great stuff. But I guess what Steven and the rest of the far right are kind of out of touch with is that the shit is gross, right? Like, people on average don't want to see people who accept $50,000 in money bag bribes try and pretend as if they care about law and order, while simultaneously sending in paramilitary goons into their backyards to harass people who aren't white. Like that only Nazis and people who want to support a regime like that are the ones who are actually excited about all this. The majority of the American population is getting sick of it, as the rest of the world watches in horror. I can tell you firsthand, I don't know of any Canadians, conservatives, liberals, NDP, social democrats, socialists, communists, none of them who are seeing what's happening in the United States and think that this is great or like this is good. It's really going to help them out. Like, I mean, it's pretty obvious that this is just Donald Trump intentionally targeting people that he thinks are his enemies, right? Making sure that every single one of them is held to account for their crimes.
Gustav, thank you so much to our patrons for making this show possible. We could not fund it without you. And if you want to join, please check out patreon.com/theserfs to unlock bonus episodes, uncensored content, and all the good stuff. Thanks to Anna Loves Riley, Addercap, Bobby Lasers, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hegbard Salim, Multimondi, Omni, Political Papi, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demmel, Tigwick, and Words Greenwood.